All right, I'm getting a thumbs up, which, as we all know, means that the show has started. This show is Asheville 8 Note, the weekly Wednesday Urban Music Studio live stream. I'm Sam Irvin, your host. We are in Asheville, North Carolina. This is the show where I have different local musicians come on to chat for an hour and jam for an hour. Tonight I've got Carrie Morrison coming on. Pretty excited. Keys, voice, music video star, and sculptor, face, charades, the face monster from Alien.
I hear you.
Oh no. What is behind that? Nothing on the camera. Everybody hang on. I'm gonna... Here, will you hit one on the... Nah, not on the keyboard. Up and to the left with those bright white lights. On the video switcher thing. Number 1.
Oh.
All right, we're on. Now, Instagram Live, that probably didn't make any sense to you because you're on the phone. But I do have various camera angles, and one of them is off right now, and so I'll have to keep that in mind as we move through the show. But where was I? This is the show where I have different Asheville musician guests on. Thank you, Andrew. To hopefully be seen on the show. And I started this to carve out a time in my life just to be creative for creative sake, to have fun with music and joke around with friends. I do this to build community. So sometimes I have old friends on, like Andrew Thelston's also here. He's going to step on a little later, an old friend. And sometimes I have new friends on. Just met Carrie Morrison recently. She plays in Andrew Thelston's band, and we got connected that way. So I'm excited to get to know her. And reason number 3 I do this show is to practice all the AV equipment and the knob turning and plugging cables in. And sometimes, I forget to turn a camera on and we end up with the situation that we had earlier. But in the tradition of the show, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I can be heard. Sometimes, I forget to turn a camera on. Oh, it's crystal clear. So thank goodness the podcast will be intact. The video edit will be a little different. So, at least the introduction. This is available as video. Go and check out past episodes on YouTube because I touch them up a little bit, put out a better mix of the jam section and such like that. And check out Urban Music Studio's Patreon, where you can support the show. You can also support the show by smashing that subscribe button on YouTube. And if you're, watching on Instagram Live or somewhere else, maybe tune into YouTube. Maybe when you go to sleep tonight, just put on the playlist and mute it and fall asleep. What else? Oh, yeah. And I mentioned that this is available as a podcast. So if you're watching it and then you realized, oh, no, or maybe you need to take your pet to the veterinarian, or where else do you guys listen to podcasts? The dentist? That's kind of rude. You got to drive anywhere. Sure. If you're driving, you should listen to this as a podcast, Asheville 8 Note. Now I'm very distracted by this camera, so Andrew, I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna fill up some more time while you plug that cable into that one camera. Up top, up on. No, not that camera. This other camera up there. Yeah, and maybe turn it around. And maybe find the power button on it and maybe turn it on. My expectations of you are high. I think that you can do this though, for sure. Meanwhile, let's have Carrie Morrison on first, and then we'll get started, and then Andrew will join us once he gets that camera angle looking perfect, which he can double check on the screen to his left, and if he can't see it on the screen, there's like a little button to push also. Okay, great. Carrie Morrison, thank you so much for coming on. Yes, please sit down. Yeah, you can sit closer to me, and you can even put on these headphones and hear yourself. We got the guest intro happening. Excellent. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that second camera angle and see how that's looking. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Of course. I hope that you watched another episode and got the feel that it's very casual, very jumbledy. So I hope you're ready for a jumbled up sort of interview.
That's fine with me.
Conversation. Okay, great. Have you you live in Brevard, that's where I'm from. But how long have you been in the area?
This will be 19 years this month.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a while for sure.
Am I honorary yet?
I don't know.
No.
I'm getting it.
Andrew says no.
Yeah.
He's also from Brevard, so I have to listen to him.
That's right. It's hard not to listen to him.
Yeah.
Sure. You guys listen to each other play. You're playing a ton of shows together, right?
Yeah. We play in a duo, and then, of course, there's the band. It was about a year and a half into playing with the band. Most of the time, when the venue works with a 4-piece, which is most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andrew and I have been working together in some capacity for 8 or 9 years. So whether he's produced my music, or whether we've been in a duo, or whether he's helped me with promotions when he worked at the radio station, just lots of collaboration over the years.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years. I don't know if I've worked with anybody that long. Maybe Kate Bryant, the violinist. Mm-hmm. We've been playing together
great.
For a while.
Yeah.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really impressive. Are you doing solo shows around as well?
Yes, I am. I still do occasional solo shows, and I also have a duo with Jamie Lee Bennett, who plays cello and flute and sings, and we have a duo called the Neverwhere Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
She's very busy with her family right now, but we do still occasionally get to play. So
yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So I'm told.
Yeah, same. Can I get you to talk right into that mic just to make sure that we are getting and we can adjust.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was going to say it's too tall.
I know.
So I'm trying to sit up straight.
I'm saving up for more stools too.
Yeah.
They're all misaligned here.
You might just need some pillows.
Definitely some dictionaries.
Or some dictionaries. Yeah.
So you've got a new music video out.
Yes.
Tell me about that process. It seems like you have a lot of collaborators in the video.
It's very Brevard connected, the video. The song is called Keep to Myself, and it premiered on June 15th. And so it's on YouTube, my YouTube channel. It was produced by Mike Moore, a Brevard music photographer and lifestyle and living photography, and he's also part of the duo Gypsy and Me. Mm-hmm. And he and I met back in March, and I told him a concept, and he said, okay, I think I know what to do. And then I hired 4 people to be actors, and they're all actually have some professional experience. Candace and Charlie Birchill, who are the theater and music teacher at Brevard High School, who I used to work with. Used to work there and worked with them. And then
cool, the old alma mater.
Yeah. Yeah, you went there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. So then we had Candace's brother Trey and his wife Kansas, and Trey's done some modeling and acting, and his wife's done some modeling, so they all were really professional, and I think if you see the video, you're going to see some really quality acting from them, so that's fun. And yeah, we just ran around in the woods, and there was this huge bamboo stand that we were filming in partly, and then over by the river, there's this really nice nature preserve near the high school, Deerwood. Have you heard of it?
Sounds familiar.
They have some cabins and short-term rentals on there, and a big lodge, and that's where we filmed. So very Brevard oriented, because all the people in the video, involved in the video, are Brevard people.
Gotcha. Maybe this is an honorary episode of Brevard 8 Note.
Yeah, you should change it.
Yeah.
South of Asheville, 8 Note, SOA.
That's right. Still WNC. Maybe I need to broaden it. WNC 8 Note. Yeah. I forget to mention that it's Asheville 8 parentheses PM into parentheses note. I feel like that's really important to state up top.
It's easy to find, though.
It is?
Online, yeah.
Oh, good.
It's very easy to find, yeah. So.
It only took 72 episodes, I think.
That's
to get
really impressive.
Oh, thanks.
And thank you for doing it.
No, thank you so much for coming on. I probably wouldn't do it by myself, so it's exciting to have, the new guests. We're doing exactly what I wanted to do with it, which is me getting to know other people in the community and hearing about, how you make like a career as a musician work for you, and how, or even just working with somebody for 8 to 9 years and then eventually become landing in a band with them. That's an interesting story, even the short version.
Yeah, that is an interesting story. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more when Andrew gets on.
I guess we'll put a pin in that.
Like how the whole band thing came together. Because I was watching the Andrew Thelston band for years. Every time they were anywhere close, I would try to come out. And I saw a lot of great musicians play with him. And then he found this particular combination that just, I don't know, it's really magic. And and it just kept kind of, I don't know, leveling up from there. And I'm really excited to be a part of it. And it definitely challenges me. We'll talk about how many songs we learned in February.
I was about to say, to ask, because you guys are blasting out a lot of covers, a lot of like classic rock covers and modern stuff, some Gnarls Barkley and other sort of pop jams like that.
Yeah, some MGMT.
Yeah, that was a great addition. I did like that when I saw you guys recently. Also, my mom saw you guys recently in Brevard. She loved it.
Oh,
She's
the Beatles?
a huge fan.
Did she see the Beatles show?
I don't know. I guess maybe that was, if that was your recent Brevard show. Yeah. She like called me just to say, no, we were talking about other stuff, but she's like, you're having Andrew Thelston on, his band on your live stream? Oh my God. So when are you going to start pulling for it to be the Andrew Thelston and Carrie Morrison band?
Well, it's definitely the Andrew Thelston band. It's definitely Andrew's the front man and the main creator. But what's unique about our band is that Andrew showcases every member of the band. Like, we all feel seen, and we're all, those of us who write songs, we get to do songs from the band members. So Roddy has several songs in the set. I have several in the set. And Andrew's attitude is not, oh, they're just here to back me up. His attitude is, oh my God, look at my band. So it's just different. And I probably wouldn't do it if it weren't like that, because not all bands are like that at all. I've played in other bands and great people, great situations, but it's really unique if you get to retain your identity as a singer-songwriter when you're playing in a band.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So let's hear about these awful bands. Let's name
Are we
names.
gonna like gossip and name people? No.
No, I'm just kidding. I haven't, I
Who's watching? No, I'm kidding.
I know. Maybe 10, up to 10, somewhere between 0 and 10 million people are watching right now.
That's a big range.
I don't have a whole lot of experience like in a band that wasn't facilitated by like Asheville Music School or like a soul band that I was playing trumpet in as like a paid, session musician. As like a classical guitarist, I'm often doing stuff by myself, or like as a jazz musician, as creating jazz ensembles or doing string combos or that sort of thing. So I don't have songs that I want to showcase yet. I'm working on an album, and I could imagine though, like your songwriting probably involves so much of like a deep expression of who you are and your identity.
Yeah.
And so, to be able to participate in a band like that, I can see how valuable that is.
It is, and there's nothing like it when you've got this incredible band playing your song. It's amazing. It's a great feeling, and the cohesion of the band, whether we have Roddy playing bass or Walker, is just really awesome. Like, we all really, really like each other and respect each other, and that just really, I think, shows in the performance. Plus, we just have such a great time on stage. But it's been a wonderful thing for me as a musician. Just learning how to play keys in a band is very different from playing keys solo. Like, all these years, mostly I played solo. I've collaborated with some other people. Like, I think Ellen Trinka might be watching. She's
Hello.
She's my soul sister. She's got one of the most beautiful velvety voices in the world. But we've played together in a duo, and I've played with Mayor Carmody and other people in small configurations, but mainly all these years I was playing solo. So you've got to do everything if you're playing keys and you're playing solo.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's actually harder to pull back from that in a band and know when, okay, I'm going to play this fifth for 4 measures and I'm going to chill.
Right.
I'm going to shake it a little bit, and I'm going to do a little dance with Roddy. And then, I got to change sounds and go to the electric piano. And then I got to do the high end on this. And it's different than what we do in the duo. And it's different than what I do solo. So it's just a good challenge for me. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, okay. Another member of the band. Some Jeff Lott.
Lott rule.
All right. Well, I guess we should let them come on too. Although I did want to dig into that solo work. In like 19 years in the area, it's changed quite a lot, right? Were you playing music that whole time?
I started playing about 2 years into living here. There was...
So wait, hold on, you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait your turn.
One moment.
Though I started playing at this little open mic at what was called the Flat Rock Wine Shop / the Back Room, which was in Flat Rock. And that's where I met all the Hendersonville musicians, if you will, like all the songwriters. That's where I met people like Ellen, Mare, Country Carver, just tons of people. Members of Steep Canyon Rangers used to go play there for the open mic. It just brought all kinds of people together. And that's where we all met each other and started networking. And then Dave, who owned the place, he's passed away, unfortunately, gave me my first gig. I had never played and sang before in front of people until that open mic. And I was terrified, like absolutely terrified. It took me 2 months to work up the nerve. And I had my 3 songs ready for 2 months. And I would come and watch, and then I'd chicken out. And then one night, Ellen Trinka gets up there, and she just slays Crazy by Patsy Cline. Just slays it. Everybody's crying, And they're like, Carrie, you're next. I was like, oh, God. But anyway, I survived it, and she encouraged me, and a whole lot of people encouraged me, actually. So that's what started it all. But yeah, been doing the singer-songwriter thing, mostly solo for all that time, 17 years. And then recently got to do this too, the band. So
yeah, that's cool. Is it your main gig, or are you a musician full time?
No, unfortunately. I wish I were. I am a part-time professional musician because I'm a teacher. I teach at East Henderson High School. So that's an intense 10 months out of the year.
Yeah.
But I put a lot into it. I've got a master's in national board certification, so I need to stay committed to it as long as I can, but it is definitely a wonderful thing to be able to play music on the weekends and in the summer and travel around and take it to different towns. And just it's a really, really awesome thing. It's how I get all my feelings out. And it's definitely therapeutic, but it's also healing and rewarding to play for people and interact with people and connect with people. Like my songs, I really hope that my songs deeply touch people, and I've gotten feedback that a lot of them do, and they mean different things to different people. Like just because I wrote it about a certain specific thing doesn't mean that that's what it means to the listeners. But I've had people make strong connections with a lot of my songs. My superpower is I can make people cry. That's what I do.
All right, I would love to cry by the end of this live stream.
Oh, so. I'll make you cry.
Okay, let's see.
I just try not to break your moog.
With tears?
Yeah, because then you probably would cry, and I would cry, and everybody would cry. But I'm really impressed that you worked for Moog, and you have some beautiful pieces in here.
I definitely want to see, what you got with those over there. The Moog one is set up right next to you.
I know.
So, we're going to do some crazy jams. That is your songwriting, is that, it's got to be rewarding for people to tell you that it means so much to them. Does it, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to formulate this. I haven't asked this question before. Does that cycle like inform your songwriting? Like when you got encouragement and praise and people enjoyed listening to music and you felt like you were touching people, then when you sit down to write another song, did that affect the way that you write?
Absolutely. Also just writing in order to get something out of your body, even if you never produce it or publish it or perform it, is extremely important to me. And I've used songwriting for therapy many, many times. And there's some songs that have never seen the light of day and probably won't. But more and more, I'm encouraged to get personal and get vulnerable because that's what people respond to. Mm-hmm. So my husband always reminds me, you're doing this for the audience, but you're doing this for yourself. And the audience enjoys watching you do things that are joyful for yourself. Audiences can see that radiating and they appreciate it. So when I get inside my head and get really worried about, I could play this new song I wrote, but I don't think anybody's going to like it. I'm just going to play this one song that I know people are going to like because they always seem to, and then I'm not going to play that risky song. I have learned to play the risky song. And if nobody's paying attention or if nobody seems to like it, so what? It's really important to get it out there because somebody somewhere might connect with it and need to hear it. So you never know.
Yeah, that intersubjectivity is like the soil for the plant of catharsis. Catharsis. Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's why I work so hard on the script for the intro of this show,
Well, it shines through.
Thank you so much.
It really does.
I didn't know if I wanted to release that one today like I did, but I think the trick with the camera not working and really.
I think you're being too hard on yourself because this is a really nice setup down here, and you're doing a great job.
Oh, well, thank you. You are going to make me cry.
72 episodes, man.
It is working. All right. All right. Before I sob, let's get Andrew Thelston and Jeff Lott, who I didn't know was coming on, so I don't have a microphone for you, but you guys can share.
That's all right.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, we did it.
Also, I remembered to turn on the comments, so if you want to comment and let us know that you're watching, we'll say hey. Except for you, Instagram Live. If you're watching on Instagram Live, I can't. We might see it. It'll be pretty tiny. But tune into YouTube, comment there, and we'll be able to see that. Welcome to the show, you guys.
How's it going?
Hey. Pretty great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to be here.
Took you long enough.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to work with this mic. Just pass back and forth. Yeah, I'm sure it'll get something.
Weird to look up at you, Jeff.
Yeah. Not used to that, are
you? the stool budget, I'm almost there, you guys.
Hey, this is.
It doesn't have to be the same height. Just cut this one down a little bit.
Our last show flyer, the heights were definitely not aligned to real life, so it's okay. We're fine. We're used to it.
Yeah.
It's good.
That was a good flyer, though.
It was a really good flyer.
For our Beatles tribute thing, we did Jack Boss in Waynesville. He does like all of our flyers now. He's really good at it. And I was like, can you make us look like the Beatles animated Yellow Submarine stuff? And then like what he cranked out was fantastic. But I was the tallest one, and then Walker and Carrie and Jeff were all the same height. Which Carrie and Jeff are about the same height, but Walker is taller than me. And yeah, it was funny because Walker was like, "Why am I Jeff's height?" I was like, "I don't know."
You were just standing closer to.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Roll reverse.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you're a short king as well. That's what.
That's right.
At. Yeah.
Closer to the earth energy.
Yes, I'm grounded. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Gravitational energy.
Yeah.
And probably walk fast.
I'll go with that. Sure.
Are you a fast walker?
Sure.
I get criticized for that all the time. People are like, God, what's your hurry, Morrison? My students too. They're like, but slow down. Where are you? What's the deal? I'm like, it's a short person thing. Just,
Yeah, I'm going.
Are you a fast walker, Sam?
I do. Yeah, I haul. But mostly because I procrastinate leaving.
Yeah.
And I really got to get somewhere.
Wait till the last minute. Yeah.
I feel like Walker would be a fast walker.
There you go.
Ironically, no. He just kind of floats.
Yeah, he seems like a groovy guy.
Totally.
Most of the band is here. I'm so close. This is nice. So what's the inside scoop? What's the scuttlebutt with the Andrew Thelston band? What's the drama inside? Can I get you guys to start fighting on?
Dude, luckily there is no drama, which is fantastic. I love everybody in this band. Like it's great. It's I've been in bands in the past where, you feel like you might want to, get a little violent from time to time. Like I never feel like that at all. Like after a show with these guys, and it's just really fun. Like that's the main thing. Like we played this past Monday in Waynesville. We were sweating our asses off, but it was a great show. We played, the 185 King Street in Brevard. Great show. We played Murphy the night before. We played at the Social. You were out there.
I was, yeah.
The night before that, just having a good time. Just, we all, the three of us, and Jeff's going to start writing songs too. One of these days. He's got a good voice too, Jeff.
That's what you say.
You put a microphone in front of him, though, he's too scared to sing. But if you keep it way far away, he starts doing all of these crazy Childish Gambino screams and stuff. But anyway, we're just, we just write a lot of music. And like, all, Roddy and Carrie and myself, we all have like different aspects of our writing and things. And it's cool to kind of showcase all of that. And then like these tribute shows, it's ultimately a way to trick people into listening to the original music up front, because the way we set it up is for the first set, it's all original music. So like whenever we played at 185 King Street, we did a full hour of my songs and Carrie's songs. And then we play like an hour and a half of, solid Beatles tunes or Fleetwood Mac or Led Zeppelin or whatever. And, those things have been really cool because people come out and often they're like, oh, you nailed all that Fleetwood Mac, but I really love your songs.
Yeah, we do hear that a lot.
We hear that a lot. And so what those tribute sets do for us is it gets the attention of people to listen to our original music. And also we choose the tribute sets based on actually deep connection with those bands. Like Andrew is a huge Beatles fan, so is Walker, and almost in a spiritual way. And for me, that's Fleetwood Mac. And then even Zeppelin, like we all love Led Zeppelin.
And the Zeppelin was the first one that we did as a 3-piece too. And that was, I think it was right at the beginning of COVID. We had some gig booked and they were like, hey, can you do like a tribute? And I was like, Led Zeppelin. And I'd never done it before, but I was just like, what's the first thing that popped in my head? And I was like, I think I said Led Zeppelin or Neil Young, and they're like, Led Zeppelin. And I was like, all right, sweet. So we started with that one, and, we did that for about a year and a half at certain shows. It's not every show, but, it's just fun. It's fun to just kind of pick like an artist that we all like or we all respect. And, like Jeff, talk about you learning all those John Bonham parts and stuff.
Well, for whatever reason, Bonham parts have always resonated with me, and it just made sense. And of course, Bonham's one of my favorite drummers of all time. I think most people would say that, but I just have just an innate connection with what he did while he was here on Earth, and if those parts come for some reason easily to me, and I love playing any John Bonham licks, all those sextuplets and triplets and the way that he did so many things for drumming in general that were brand new and fresh, and he was only like 19 years old when he came on the scene. So when they first really started taking off, so love Bonham, and I'm so glad to be able to work with a group of musicians who can pull that stuff off. It's awesome.
It's not easy.
It is not.
No, it's not. Zeppelin's got a lot of weird counting things, stuff like that if you
Kashmir is a difficult song to play. Sorry. Kashmir is a difficult song to play right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because and if you ever listen to it, for all of you musicians watching, listen to it and count some of these things, because the first time they do the da 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 da, they'll do it one time. Then the second time they'll do it 3 times. And then later on, they'll do it 4 times. And then they go back to 1 time. And then they'll do it 2 times. And it doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
So what it sounds like to me is they just had John Bonham go in there with Jimmy Page. And they were just jamming and kind of played through this. And then everybody else filled everything else back in. And then they're like, oh, wait, we only did it that 1 time. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe they planned it out. But I don't think they did. I think they just kind of went with it. And a lot of their songs are like that. There's another one that doesn't, where we have to like count awkwardly to get through it.
Sure, yeah, like
Black Dog.
Black Dog would be the classic reference, and a lot of people would say that they actually tried to make it where no one could cover it.
That's what I heard. John Paul Jones was like, "I don't want anybody to cover this. I don't want anybody to play this. I don't want anybody to be able to figure this out." But we did.
But then you conquered it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and a lot of stuff in that song doesn't quite line up metrically to the grid if you analyze it, and it's more of like a feel thing, or just like something in between the beat or something like that. And so kind of what we had to do is approximate as closely as we could to something that we could reproduce and count on stage, and where everybody's on the same beat. But there was definitely some studio magic going on with that song.
Yeah. And then like the thing too that you have to remember about all 3 of those bands that we've done these tribute shows with, Fleetwood Mac, Beatles, and Led Zeppelin, they didn't really end songs. Between like 1966 and like 1985, nobody ended a song. They would just
like
fade her down. Yeah. And that was a thing too where we'd be like, well, how the hell are we going to end this? And like, I'd have to like look at like certain like live videos that these bands would do and be like, well, they do it like this. Or if I had to end it, I would end it like this and that kind of stuff. And, it was just, it's fun putting those things together. It's hard to do those things. It's a difficult show, but like I said, like the entire point of it is just to get people for people to be like, oh, this band is influenced by that band. I love that band. Like, and then they hear our music. Maybe they hear some of it in there. Maybe they don't. But like, it's just fun to like get people involved with the band in a different way.
Yeah, and it serves to lift up the originals. That's everything. Yeah. Everything that we do serves original music, really. And then the cover sets that we do are meaningful to us and like carefully selected because it's not just the bands, but the songs that we pick. We do with great intention.
Yeah.
And try to challenge ourselves, but also make it like really, really fun for people and nostalgic in some cases.
Yeah, and it's, a lot of bands, I kind of take a lot of cues from Government Mule. Warren Haynes, he's from Asheville, and for years, they're literally about to go out on tour doing Dark Side of the Mule. And it's the same thing where they play like all the originals and stuff, and then they do Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety, and then play a couple, songs after that and everything. So, I'm just stealing ideas. I'm not original at all. I just steal stuff.
No, it's a great idea to combine originals and covers like that.
Yeah, the bands that you guys have named as being, or you've talked about how they're big influences on you, and like they are conducive choices for like your style of music where you're shredding and streaking and you're
showing off.
Yeah.
All of us showing off.
But I love like the Flaming Lips cover albums where it's like totally different and trippy and off base. Have you thought about covering something like in your style that is maybe like a Taylor Swift album or
that
something?
Would be that would be interesting. I mean, we kind of do that with some of the covers that we do. We do Redbone by Childish Gambino, and we've kind of turned it into our own thing. And then even with like the MGMT song that we're doing and Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, we've changed that.
Yeah.
I never feel I don't, how do I say this without sounding like a jerk? I respect people that play, and I've done it. I've done a Beatles tribute in the past where I had to play everything note for note. And like, I've done Pink Floyd stuff where I've had to do things note for note, sing note for note, all that kind of stuff. I like the idea of like, this is not a carbon copy of, whatever, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. This is Andrew and Carrie and Jeff and Walker doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps the way they hear it, and then put their own flair on it. Because there's nothing more boring to me than to play something exactly note for note the way that it's like, you know. And it's also like virtually impossible to get some of those guitar tones and try to get like some of those drum sounds. I mean, like drum sets back in the 70s were pretty crappy, right?
Yeah, and there was also a lot of drummers that were running with a batter head, a top head, and no bottom head, and just a concert tom thing is what they called that. But also another song that we made our own was Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah.
And Andrew can talk about that.
Yeah, like we were kind of putting...
Well, wait, actually, I do want to mention that Zeppelin's drum sound was revolutionary because they started putting phasers on like the cymbals.
Yeah, on like Kashmir and stuff,
Yeah.
For sure. But like we do Eleanor Rigby, and we've actually recorded it. We'll probably release it pretty soon, I would imagine. I guess I'll have to talk to the label.
Which is you.
I'll have a conversation with that guy.
Talk to yourself.
But anyway, I was talking to Walker, and I was like, well, what kind of Beatles songs, just in general for the set, I wasn't even thinking of like a tribute show. I was like, what Beatles songs, would you want to do? Like, he's like, well, let's, Eleanor Rigby would be kind of cool as like a reggae version. And I was like, you like the Police? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. So like the next time the three of us, Jeff and Walker and I got together, I was like, Jeff, play like Stuart Copeland, do like this. We're going to trick everybody into thinking it's going to be like this and it's going to be this. And like people love it. They really like this like reggae, upbeat Police kind of vibe, but also like us, vibe.
Yeah.
And we're in the process of mixing the new EP, which is going to be out in probably 2 months, probably. A couple weeks.
I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, it's finally got those mixes down. They're getting real close. Daniel and I are kind of working on those, but we've even incorporated some of those kind of Police influences on a couple of these songs and stuff. And like, that's been the process of recording the EP has been really fun because it's the first time for me as a songwriter for me to be like, here's a sketch. Here's what I would do. Here, Jeff, write something. And it all starts with Jeff. It's all like, I'll come up with a lot of the ideas. I'll come up with like the arrangements and all that kind of stuff. But on this, I'm like, here, Jeff, write some drum parts. Figure it out. He comes up with some parts between him and me and Daniel. Whenever we're producing together, the three of us for these drum tracks, we've gotten some amazing stuff. Like, I'm so proud of this. And it's also takes so much pressure off of me because in the past, I've had to spell it out for people or I've had to kind of like, oh, no, I need you to do it like this. Or it was just me doing it by myself. I never want to play. I don't really want to play drums on a recording ever again.
Did you get the wireless mouse? Because that really helps.
Oh, I would set it to where I'd have like 16 bars up front and then run to the drums.
Yeah, I did that
and
for
then
so
like
long.
The first 4 beats of anything on my first album is like really like you can kind of hear it pushing a little bit, but
now I got the wireless mouse and I squint across the room so I can like
maybe I did have one of those at the time. I had an iMac at the time that had but no, and like same thing with like, we get to the point of like backing vocals and even certain keyboard parts where like some of these songs that I've written and recorded have like kind of holes in there for another piece, and it's piano from Carrie. I'm like, I can't write anything. I don't know what to do. Here, you play piano, figure it out. And she writes something amazing. She came in and recorded last week some beautiful piano lines. And then I made her do some really weird stuff on the piano too.
Always.
Let's talk about that feature of arrangement, because piano and guitar, it's really possible to like step on each other, right?
For sure.
You're playing in the same range. So how do you guys problem solve that?
Well,
how'd you do that, Carrie?
It's become intuitive after performing together for a long time. Like our duo performed a lot over the years, and I've just learned. I've played in other duos with guitarists, and I've learned that when it's you both get your opportunity to solo, and then you do the low end chords when the guitarist is soloing, and they handle the high end. Mm-hmm. And usually with a duo with a guitarist, I can usually handle more low end stuff and more bass, which is what I'm used to anyway after playing solo all the time.
Right.
But it just, I don't know, it works with some people and with some people it doesn't. It's like you've got to find the person that you're intuitive with on stage. And I've had a few people like that. And Andrew's probably the person that's the most like that, probably because also we have a lot of experience performing together, but we just know. Like,
well, when I'm on stage
to
with
back
people
off or
too,
lean in.
like, and I hope they would all say this, but like, you know, I try to give everybody a spotlight at some point, whether it's a drum solo, whether it's just calling people's names out and saying this kind of stuff.
Or a total surprise during yours and mine.
That's also true. You did really well on that Monday, though. I kind of, and everybody around here, Jeff, you can probably talk about this too. Like, you know, you got to be ready for a solo. Like, I'll call it. Like, I don't care if you've never soloed in that song before. I don't know. Figure it out. Play something. If I call your name, you better play something. But, you know, but that's also like me kind of, it's a weird thing, like as a band leader sometimes to kind of like, you know what I want out of the band, but also trust them enough to where like they're not going to like, you know, ruin. They're never going to ruin anything, but just like trusting the trust of the people on stage is so crucial, and like the respect of everybody on stage with each other is so crucial. And I've honestly never really been in that situation before. You know, I've had like other bands where like maybe two of us were like that, but somebody else wasn't. Or like three of us, and you know, and it's kind of like a weird thing, but like every time we're on stage, like we're in it to win it. We're in it. We're not up there to half-ass it. We just go like, we do it. We rehearse. We like write out set lists. We have songs. We write stuff. We learn different things. Carrie writes a song. We learn it immediately. We get that stuff going, like, you know, and we just problem solve and just try to kick as much ass on stage as humanly possible.
Well, it comes through in like a confidence in the performance.
Yeah.
You know, even if I've seen you guys play for an awesome, gigantic crowd and for a little crowd who's not really paying attention.
On the social.
Which we appreciate you being there.
Yeah, and we appreciate you being at both of them.
Yes. Thank you for being there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because you saw us at Sierra Nevada and then you saw us at the social. And
yeah, and you guys are bringing the heat either way.
Yeah, and that's, if you're up on stage and you got to do it, and 3 or 4 people are out there, a couple of your friends, or like you said, like, and we've played some really big shows, like the 185 King Street. There were a lot of people out at that one. When we played in Murphy, that was like a really good crowd. That was like, we could do anything.
We could do anything.
Yeah, like we could do anything, and we would have gotten away with
like
it.
a 10-minute Jungle Boogie.
Yeah, we did play Jungle Boogie for like 10 minutes straight.
Nice.
And that riff is crazy. That riff is awesome. Yeah, she does all that on the keys, but like the dun 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 dun, that thing is wild.
That funk set.
Yeah. And we did a funk set at Boojum.
That was the biggest challenge for me.
I forgot about the funk set. Yeah.
That was that in February, like I was saying, we learned 65 songs.
Yeah, we learned a lot of songs.
Because every Saturday we had a residency at Boojum, and every Saturday we had a different
completely
feature.
Different show.
It's like we would do our originals, of course, and then we would do Fleetwood Mac, or we would do a Zeppelin set, which we did with Kate, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And we did do Kashmir. It was great.
Yeah, with the strings, that was really cool. We need to talk to Jack and get that video.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really, really fun.
Yeah. We nailed it. That Kashmir, like, I feel like I'm getting PTSD just talking about it every time. I'm just like, oh god. But it's like, and yeah, it's so good. And there's like the vocal thing at the end. Oh yeah, that thing. All I want to do is just sing that over and over. But it's at the very end of the song, so I have to do all this work and keep the amoeba and, like, you know, watching Jeff and watching Carrie, and we're getting up there, and just to get to that point, I'm like, nailed it.
And so, like, Kate was handling the color, the color and the strings, and I was handling the orchestra. Kind of. Like, I had the strings, the sounds, and I was doing all this, the long notes and the steps, and that made the end really fun.
Yeah.
Because it's the walk up that that's in, 6/4 time or something weird.
I don't even count that.
If you don't, I just remember land the B flat. If you don't land the B flat, you're in trouble. Just land the B flat, girl. Come on, you got this. And it was so fun.
Yeah, it is like, it's like there's a B flat and then there's a B later in that same riff.
And then
super weird.
The octave that's on bass, and I was playing it on strings too. and Walker and I were like in lockstep. It's just it's so fun. Like, I don't know.
So how do you guys how often do you practice? And I want to hear a little bit about your individual practice routines. Like, are you more focused in the morning or at night? How do you have a routine, or do you do giant blocks of practice? Like, what works best for you?
Well, I'll speak to that first since Andrew gave me the mic. Well, for myself, now I'm teaching at the Music Academy, the same school that Andrew teaches at, Music Academy of Western North Carolina. So the cool thing about that is that I get to practice on my own time in between students when I have open blocks. And so just because I've made a big switch in, my main employment, I used to work at a body shop and then do the music thing on the weekends, and I was just kind of cramming in practice. Now I've got all the time in the world to practice. I mean, my whole life is practice, so it just works out really well just because I get to keep my mind in that mode. And I'm really thankful to him for helping me get that job, helping me land that job. And of course,
I know a couple of other people that work there, and it's a nice gig.
It is. Pretty well, it is. It's a great place.
Good students, good management.
Yep. Yeah. Mike, the owner, is great. As far as my practice routine, I do a lot of practice pad work. And
I do a lot of like
rudiments.
Stuff.
Rudiments all day. That's the bread and butter.
Did you have that stick control book?
I definitely have stick control. I'm on my third copy of that. So that's they call that the drummer's Bible. So any drummers out there, if you're listening, if you don't have stick control, shame on you.
Gotta get it.
Yeah. So that's me. I practice whenever I can. I have a lot of passion for it, and I don't think I'd be happy in my day-to-day life if I didn't practice at least a little bit every day. I try to make it a goal to at least practice 5 minutes a day, even if I have so much else going on that it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I delude myself into thinking I can get away without practicing for a few days, and then I get depressed or like something is blocked in me.
And that's the number one thing. My wife Jessica, she's like, when you're in a bad mood, just go pick up a guitar. Just leave, go pick up a guitar, because I'm always in a better mood afterwards. And as far as my practice, the same kind of thing. Like I've got a lot of students, so like there's always a guitar in my hand. So like I'm always kind of, showing them running scales like all day. I had like lessons from like 1 till 7 o'clock tonight with like 1 30-minute break. So basically every one of those students, I'm running G major scales, I'm running chromatic scales, I'm running all of the, pentatonics and minor, major, all that kind of stuff. And then, sometimes the cool thing about teaching too is, I've got a couple students that come in with like wild stuff. And they're like, hey, can you teach me how to play this? And I'm like, oh, God.
Some like, Polyphia or something?
Yeah, it's just all these crazy, and I went to school for jazz. So, like, I had a kid that wanted to learn. He's like, I want to learn all of 2112 by Rush. And I was like, all right. Anybody wanted to learn that on bass? And I was like, we'll do it. I was like, come on, fingers, don't fail me now. But, and it's cool for me to learn that stuff. And it's like the ear training is so crucial in, like, what we all do. Because so many times I'm like, hey, can we play this song that we haven't played in like 6 months tonight? And they're like, okay. And I'm sure like we all do that, where we have to like listen to it real quick before we get back up there. And we're like, oh, we got this. But as far as practicing, I mean, I play every day. And, there's a big difference between teaching, and you can definitely, as far as guitar and stuff, this. There's a big difference between teaching, practicing, and then practicing, and then like writing. So like teaching, practicing, writing, and then like performing as well. Those are all different things. And you don't want to be practicing on stage. And you don't want to be necessarily, I feel like a lot of the jams that we do, I will get ideas from that. Like I always kind of like leave just like little spaces in our shows for like improvisational stuff, where I can kind of see like what they're doing, what I'm doing. Oh, that was a cool riff. I'm glad I got my GoPro out and I can go back and maybe write that, or I go back and listen to it. I'm like, no, that was crap, but that's okay, because in the moment it sounded good, whatever. But, and then like the writing thing is different. So I do kind of like make a little bit of time to sort of noodle. But then sometimes I've noticed that like my practice, like, okay, I got to go practice real quick. I got a little bit of time. My babies are asleep or whatever. And so I'm like going and I'm like practicing, and I'm like, man, that's a riff. That's a song right there. Crap. And I got to like record it real quick so I don't forget it, and then kind of come back to it and then start the process. And then even like with practice too, I practice recording a lot. So like I have a studio like what you have here, not nearly the amount of synthesizers, which I'm so jealous that you have all of these synthesizers. Anyway, like I'll go through and like when I do this all the time, I kind of post some of these things up on social media where like, here's the idea that popped in my head last night when I was kind of just noodling around, and I'll kind of produce it like a little piece of a song. And a lot of times those turn into bigger songs. And it's also a really easy way to gauge crowd reaction without giving them a full song. Because if I give them a guitar riff with a specific vibe of like, and I always have like, a drum machine with like some reverb on the back of it or something just to kind of give it some atmosphere. But if people react to that, I know that I should keep going for it. And if people don't react to it, well, it was a cool video, whatever, move on. So, but yeah, it's kind of, in my brain, I'm always kind of like, am I practicing? Or what am I doing with this instrument? And then sometimes one will lead to the other and all that kind of stuff. And even like when we're practicing together with the band, I'll be like, keep doing that for a second. And then I'll kind of put it in the old bread box.
Mm-hmm. Right. Practicing as distinct from writing, as distinct from performing and recording. Yep. Yeah. I mean, and that can continue to fractal off into
for sure
whatever. I'm often, I mean, those skills can inform one another. Like
absolutely.
You're saying. But yeah, I mean, my main thing is practicing classical guitar in the morning, and that does just feel like figuring the song out over and over again. But I'm playing the long game of like when I'm 60, I can just sight read everything.
Yeah,
that's my plan.
That would be amazing.
The old man classical guitarist.
There you go.
Sustainable.
How do you practice, Carrie?
Oh, I was doing really well for a while, making sure I played.
We're outing you.
Well, I'm just, y'all are making me run all over Hell's Half Acre playing all these crazy. So I'm tired. No, I try to play, just noodle around for at least a little bit every day, and then a lot of my ideas come to me driving. So I have to commute to work, and then none of us live close to each other, and all the venues are far, and so there's a lot of driving.
Kids, if you want to be in a band one day and you want to go play shows, make sure you have a license and make sure you like driving.
Make sure you like it. Yeah.
That's what you're going to be doing.
So a lot of my...
Oh, if you like, do you like to move equipment all the time?
Yeah.
Join a band.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's taking stuff out of the car, putting stuff in the car, taking stuff, unzipping stuff, plugging stuff, wrapping cords, But anyway, I get these ideas when I'm driving, and then I can build a song around them. And I've got so many half songs right now. Like, I've got a verse and I've got a chorus and I may even have a bridge, but I'm not quite finished with them. But it's better to go ahead and play them. I've even posted some of them on Instagram, which terrifies me, but it turns out okay. Like, I didn't die. So just like
no
experimenting with and then a couple of them I'm recording. So I mean, that's.
Do you do the voice memo thing in the car?
Oh yeah,
dude. That's all my phone is voice memos.
So many.
Me going like, and then like I have to listen back to it. I'm like, what the hell was that?
And I'm going, that's a 2-chord. That's a 4-chord. Minor 6. Like those were my voice memos, and I go back to them. I'm like, what? And then most of the time I can figure out what I meant.
That's not a voice.
That's true. That is. But it's on the voice memos. It's on the voice memos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good one. It'll say like I-40. Here we go. Got that feeling, gonna lose. Yeah.
I know where that one ended up.
That's one. That is on one of the new ones. Yeah, look at all of these.
So I should mention too that Andrew's record label is Clever Dog Records. I'm recording an EP
Our
with him.
Record label. Well, everybody.
Okay.
Sam, you want to be on our record label?
It's the family.
We'll talk.
It's a family. You should. But I'm recording an EP with Andrew, so he's releasing an EP in a short amount of time, a month or two, and then next year maybe spring, maybe summer. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of music coming out too. But Andrew, that's the fun thing. It's very different. I'm recording with 2 very different producers. And that's a good learning experience too. So Andrew and Chris Rosser are who I'm working with. And Chris Rosser is he's in Free Planet Radio, which you may have heard of. And he did my full-length album 6 years ago. God. And anyway, Andrew did my last EP, which was called the Neverwhere Sisters. And that was primarily with Jamie Lee, but Andrew played on it, and Daniel played on it, and Christian Singleton played on it.
Roddy played on it.
But it's so interesting. Like, Andrew has a different way of interpreting my songs, and I'm always going to lean more toward recording the more rock songs with him, or to songs that I want to make into a rock song. And then he really gets my chord structures and kind of knows my pattern and knows how to, if I say, well, in the second verse it needs to be swampy, and then in the third verse it needs to be kind of echoey but not, and he knows what I'm talking about. So
producing.
That's producing.
That's a big thing, just in general. Like,
brain.
I would say to anybody out there who's trying to like record or write songs, like if you're a guitar player and you're writing songs, you're a piano player writing songs, learn how to talk to a drummer and learn enough about drums to where you can say, oh, I want this to sound like, whatever. I want this to be swing a little bit more, pull back on the snare drum, like be forward like this, all that kind of stuff. Because I think Jeff and I have a very good understanding of, let's do that halftime. There's a halftime, then go right back in. And then like Jeff always does like this crazy stuff that I would never in a million years imagine how to do. But like it comes in handy when you're recording and you can like speak that language instead of, I'm sure you can talk about
like
singer-songwriters that have been like, hey, go boom, boom, tip.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Can you do this song like if Edwin McCain played the drums? What the hell does that mean? What? No.
What was the one? We won't say the band name, but there was a band that...
You can say it.
No, we're not going to say the band name. But they said something along the lines of, play this like a country swing band and Tool. So combine a country swing band and Tool.
Which if you could...
And you should have seen his face.
If Nanny Carey grew up in Louisiana...
Yeah, it was...
Then you've got gold. Like,
it just like, it hurt. It hurt my head. I don't know, even playing drums, but they were like talking to Jeff, and I was like,
Yeah, know your lingo. What's a backbeat? What's a shuffle? What's a swing? What's halftime? Know your time signatures. Just be able to speak the language of rhythm. That goes a long way.
Knowing the keys of your songs too. There's a lot of singer-songwriters out there that like to use those capos. I love using capos. But you better know what the actual key of your song is before you get a group of musicians in a room.
Musicians to be able to interpret it, you need to know your keys.
Yeah, because I've been in those situations before where they're like, well, it's an E, but it's an E whenever you put the capo on the 4th fret. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a G sharp. Thanks.
Right.
Tell me that to begin with, please.
Yeah.
G sharp or A flat.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
You're talking major here.
There you go.
I think a chart helps.
Charts definitely
I'd love to see a chart.
Yeah.
Even if it's like nothing besides the lyrics.
Yeah.
Lyrics and chords.
Your measures.
That goes a long way. And you have to, got to make it easy for people.
All right, you guys, we're getting up on the hour. Does anybody have any pressing news to release or anything else that you want to say
gossip?
Gossip?
I just want to say
trash.
I am so excited about our new EP coming out. It is the best thing that I've done with this band so far. I also want to say shout out to Andrew for giving me so many drum solos and actually recognizing me on stage. The last time we played, I believe he mentioned my name 3 times and I got 3 drum solos. And it's like, he's putting me to work for sure. But, so it's great to have.
I'm jealous. I'm a frustrated drummer. Like when I was a kid, my favorite Beatle was Ringo. And then like the first human that I ever saw play music in front of me was a family friend. And he played drums. And it was the coolest experience of my life. I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. And he just because he'd always talk to me about Beatles and the Rolling Stones and stuff. And he just goes in, he's just like beating the hell out of these drums right in front of me. And I was like, this is amazing. I should be a drummer. And I remember going to try to be a percussionist, like in, the middle school thing where they're like, oh, hey, they give you the weird test.
Yeah, we're gonna tell you what instrument you should be playing.
And of course, like all the kids immediately want to be percussionists, so that fills up immediately. So then I was like, I guess I'll play trumpet. Like,
I did the same.
I like the sound of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just love drum solos, and
I'm not a musician.
I love listening to you play drum solos.
Yeah, it helps to be playing with a band leader who has that passion for drumming and speaks language. Back again with that. Andrew, he acts like he's not the best drummer, but he's a great drummer, and he's better than some other professional drummers. So I'll say that.
Get that in writing. Yeah, call out some people.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm not really so drama.
I mean, look at the relationship that Dave Grohl had with Taylor Hawkins. And it's kind of like a similar kind of thing. The lingo is there, so we get a lot done quick.
Did you just compare me to Dave Grohl and you to Taylor Hawkins?
Just the relationship.
I love it.
Just the relationship.
My God, I'm going to start crying on this. I'm going to start crying on this. I'm going to give Jeff a kiss here in a second.
What's happening over here? Like,
that's the greatest compliment anybody's ever paid me.
Sharing a microphone, they probably want to sit on each other's laps. Oh my God.
Tell the people what you got going on, Carrie.
Just kidding.
Your music video.
Oh, yeah, the music video that just
streaming worldwide.
Yeah.
Keep to myself.
Running around in the woods with bamboo and emulating. I was kind of going for Titania. So if you're a Shakespeare fan, there's a lot of the video that
William?
Bill.
Or Gary.
It kind of harkens to Midsummer Night's Dream a little bit, but I don't know. There's a lot going on. It's good.
It's a great video.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It came out.
It's very pretty.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and the production on the music, of course, is really beautiful and different to other things that I've done. So I'm excited about that. Andrew produced it, and Daniel played drums on it, and
Walker played
bass on it, and you played some keys on it.
I went.
There's lots of cool sounds on it. So it's a little bit different rhythmically and structurally than stuff I've done in the past, but it's really fun. And it's shorter than songs I've written in the past, too. So if you have 3 minutes and 17 seconds, stop what you're doing right now, and watch it.
After this.
You actually will have time during the break, because we're about to take a quick break and then come back. And do come back after you watch her music video. I'm sure that we will be back after the break with James.
You can watch it like 3 times.
Yeah, it's gonna.
We'll be back.
We have a lot to set up.
We might even play it during the jam.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I will probably let you guys do most of the plan.
You can go wee wee woo 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 woo. You got all the.
Yeah, I'll ruin it with some synthesizer.
You will not ruin it. You will make it. Yeah, you'll make it very interesting.
Make it weird because we love weird.
Go for it.
I'll make it swampy.
Yeah.
Swampy backbeat, brah.
And so any last words?
We have new music in the band coming out really soon.
Oh, and shout out to Daniel because he's a wizard.
Daniel is a wizard.
Daniel Nisbet.
There we go. Daniel.
Yep.
Hey, come on the show.
You need to get him on the show.
You should get him on the show.
Okay, cool.
Probably have to pry his mouth open and get him to talk. But
And shout out to Jack Boss.
Jack Boss.
Yes.
He's our art guy now.
Doing a great job with that.
Nice.
Getting people to our shows.
Those flyers are looking good for sure. The flyer I made for this looked pretty good too.
It looks great. It looks great.
Giant Carrie with a really good headshot.
Little tiny Andrew right there in the middle.
like I'm Godzilla, and
with
Andrew's
a keyboard,
like a person running
with the old stormtrooper.
With the stormtrooper as my weapon. Yep.
Andrew's like the angel on your shoulder, or the devil, or the devil.
Not the angel.
Hey, come on.
I'm glad all that came across. That's exactly what I was going for.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much for being on. This is Asheville 8 p.m. Note, and I'm Sam Irvin, and you should check out Irvin Music Studios Patreon and hit subscribe on YouTube and listen to this as a podcast if you want. I think that's all the plug-in. Now I'm going to cut to black, and at that point, the mics will still be live. I feel like I have to tell you guys that because I haven't figured out how to shut those down from over here
Well,
yet.
thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Andrew Thelston on YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Me too.
There you go. All right, we will be right back with music, live music from Asheville, right after these messages. Just kidding. It's a Please Wait soundtrack.
we go. Oh, yeah. Check, 1, 2, 3.
Check, check. Ooh, you might want to a little more. Check.
Check. 1, 2. A little bit more.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Check. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh, yeah! without you, I'll be wasted away. Without you, aggressive chemistry is tangled up in my mind. It's killing me, telling me what I do is fine. I got no time now. Aggressive chemistry is tangled up in my mind. It's killing me, telling me what I do is fine. I got no time now. It's a lonely stare deep in your eyes. I'm on the surface, but my tears are welling up inside. I'm defiantly delusional and full of fire. My heart is honest, but my brain is a big old liar. Piano solo. Aggressive chemistry is tangled up in my mind. It's killing me, telling me what I do is fine. I got no time now. Aggressive chemistry is tangled up in my mind. It's killing me, telling me what I do is fine. I got no time now. Aggressive chemistry is tangled up in my mind. Oh, it's killing me, telling me what I do is fine. I got no time now. Got no time now. Got no time now. Got no time now. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to jar them again. I did that like 5 times. It was like, ah! No, I'm not used to it. It's very
It's intimidating.
compressed. I don't know. It's like very strong. Strong stuff. Very hot. Very hot.
It's Carrie's brand new single here on the podcast and the live stream.
Masterpiece Theater.
Masterpiece Theater presents Carrie Morrison in Keep to Myself. Get some bamboo. Things I keep to myself. Things I keep to myself. How to get to be someone that I need. How to get to be on the inside. There's only one way a garden grows. How did you know? How did you know? Drinking whiskey, dancing with ghosts, fireflies alive, comes the night. Things I keep to myself. Things I keep to myself. Living fever dreams is not what it seems. How'd you like to be on the inside? I thought the love was broken down, hollowed out, hollowed out. Shake my head out of the dark and down. Take me now, take me now. Things I keep to myself. Things I keep to myself. Blooms a red rose in waste and wanting. Blooms a red rose alive.
New single.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Cascades? That's what we should call our group. Carrie and the Cascades? Sounds like very Canadian. Hey, can we get some Cascades, eh?
Cascades.
Hey, Cascades, eh? Just in a rush. I've never played this with you guys with me playing bass. I write so many of these songs on.
Nowhere to run to. My back's up against the wall. I'm trying to tell you, run right before I fall. Blinders and heartache, the truth won't ever be solved. I can feel my hands shaking, my back's up against the wall. Oh yeah, back's up this feet, never gonna run away. Never gonna stop, never gonna fade away. Exhaustion can kill now. I haven't slept for days and days. But I'll say one thing now, I'm never too tired to say. Oh, the flickering lights and lingering nights, anticipation wrong, but I stand tall. Sing out these words. Oh yeah, just like this beat, I'm never gonna go away. Never gonna stop. Never gonna fade away. Yeah. Gonna sit right down, I'm gonna write a song. A simple little tune with a big hook and lots of words. Gonna sit right down, I'm gonna spell it out. Sharpen these words now and cut you like a synthesizer. Impression, helpless towards the world. But I've got a message of love, a bitter soul can never hurt. Oh yeah, just like this speed, I'm never gonna go away. Never gonna fade away. Yeah, just like this beat, I'm never gonna go away. No, no, never gonna stop or fade away.
Where are you from, Carrie?
From Louisville. As long as it doesn't sound sarcastic. Awesome. Good job, guys.
Play that? This is D minor if you want to fool around on something.
D minor, F, G. That's the whole song.
64 to 75 to 40 to 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix again. 64, 75 to 40 to 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix. I gotta get home to my mountain, man. I'm gonna go to Asheville to see a show and then cool my heels in Orlando. 64, 75, 40 to 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix. Got 5 hours in front of me and some real rude truckers from Tennessee. I can't wait to see my mountain town. If I can get to Candler without breaking down. 64 to 75 to 40, 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix. I'm gonna build me a cabin up in the woods and can some beans like I know I should. I'm gonna climb Mount Mitchell and see the world. You might could say I'm a mountain girl. 64 to 75 to 40 to 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix again. 64, 75 to 40, 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix. I'm going home. 64, 75, 40, 26. I'm heading home, I gotta get on the road. Give me the key, my mountain fix. I gotta go. Is a bitch. I'm heading home. I gotta get on the road. I need my mountain fix.
Nice.
That was the Doppler effect on traffic. That was awesome. It was like cosmic. And that's what we were like, let's get weird. So it was weird in a good way.
Sure. C minor. Mail on it. Whenever. Feel it and go for it. You've heard us play it probably.
Move those lips just a little closer. I wanna feel you saying like no other. Slam that door again. I can't fix who you are. You may not know where I stand with you these days. I know when I'm feeling down there. I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there. I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Shadow on my memories night by night. Your voice, your smile, your heart makes me shed some bright light. Can you understand all my uncertainty? You may not know where I stand with you these days. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Could you expect anything less than this? 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. I know who I lost. I have to turn my face on all night. Stand that door one last time. I'm ready to leave. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I know. Feel when I'm broken down there. I can see it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I can feel it all around. Time will make it alright. I know when I'm feeling down there, I feel when I'm broken down there. I feel it all around. Time will
played trumpet in such a long time. Kiss My Caboose.
Is that what it's called now?
I'll cue you in to come in, Jeff, and then just be really big Nirvana about it. Halftime, and then speed up on the chorus. Double time it on the chorus. I'll cue you.
Long as I know this train's been running, rolling down around the sunny side. I don't know why you think you needed assistance. Seems like you're just running your mouth. Oh, the steel magnolias pumping harder and harder. Oh, he had to learn to sweat to reach the sun. Oh, but that don't mean it's all a port in Georgia. Maybe we've just begun. Well, it's back, check too much, too long. I gotta get a better review. I'm sick and tired of your back talk. Baby, you can kiss my caboose. Say kiss my caboose. All I'm gonna do is keep on moving. Gonna wear my high heels, wear my steel-toed boots. Gonna flip my pinky up when I'm drinking my whiskey. I'm smiling when I'm singing the blues. Oh yeah. Well, we tried to hold us back, but we were stronger. Just try to stop us, I don't think you can. Oh, we can't keep this up for so much longer. Sister, hold my hand. Well, it's back, just too much, too long. I gotta get a better review. Ooh, I'm sick and tired of your back talk. Baby, you can kiss my caboose. I said kiss my caboose.
Thanks, Sam.